Let's hope others will get connected during the meeting. So yeah, I have start the recording. So let me share the screen. Right. So last time, people, we just discuss our session or the lesson until the input devices are done. Right. So we are in the second lesson. We discuss what are the input devices and what are the categories that we can see as the input devices. So today we are going to move forward from that point, right? So today we have to learn about the output devices, which gives the information or any type of data as an output for the users, right? So when it comes to the outputs, there are three major ways of giving you the outputs. There are many ways of having the output, but there are three major ways of producing the outputs, which is according to like in the form of soft copy, and in the form of hard copy, and in the form of sound. So soft copy means something that we can see, but something that we can't touch, right? So it is intangible. Intangible, right? Soft copies. So we can only see them like you see the things on the screen. So screen is giving you an output, which is outputting the things inside the hard disk or inside the computer. So it is an output, but we can't touch that particular copy. Like touching means like we can touch the screen, but we are not actually touching the component, the copy. So we call it the soft copy. So if you really need to have a copy where you can touch and feel, we need to convert these soft copies into a hard copy. So to convert things into a hard copy, we can use printers, right? So there are various printers, different types of printers, which produce us the printouts. So which we considered as a hard copy, right? So other than these two categories, there is sound. So sound belongs to the format that we can hear. We can't see it, we can't touch it, but we can hear it, right? So it is another way that the computer is outputting its data, right? So there are three major types. So today we are going to learn about these three things, right? So when it comes to the soft copies, I told you it is something that we can see, but we can't touch, right? So whatever you are, like whatever the user get to see can be seen through the monitor, right? So monitor or the visual display unit, in short form VDU, is the device that brings us the soft copies. So when it comes to the VDUs, right, or the monitors, there are different types of monitors, right? So there are three major categories when it comes to the monitors. Like in very old days, even today, some of the institutes are using these type of monitors. The first type of the monitors, the first kind of the monitors, which we call the cathode ray tube monitors or the CRT monitors. So I hope you have seen a CRT monitor, right? So there are CRT monitors at my school. So I think most of the school may contain the CRT monitors, even though you are not using those. If you got a lab which has some old equipments in your school, so you can see a CRT monitor, right? And if you got an old computer at your home, you can find a CRT monitor. So CRT monitor, it is big in size, it is heavy, it takes a lot of space, right? Unlike the flat screens, right? And as well as it consume a lot of power, a lot of electricity into it, right? So like the picture is something like this, and I'll show you something clearer, right? So this is what we were talking about, is the CRT monitor. So the right hand side, that picture shows you how the CRT monitor is made of, right? So what is the internal structure of the CRT monitor? So CRT stands for cathode ray tube. So why it is given that particular name? Because at the back of the screen of the CRT actually contains a cathode ray tube, right? So this cathode ray tube help the electron beams. There are three types of electron beams, which is generated by the electron gun, right? That is why it is big in size, because electron gun need space, and it is going to shoot three colors, which is red, green, and blue, onto the back of the screen. So where we can see a light spot, a very small light spot on the screen when that electron beams are touch the screen at the back, right? පිටිපස්සෙන් ඇවිල්ලා එක වදිනකොට ඉස්සරහින් අපිට පොඩි light spot එකක් පේනවා. So likewise, there are like millions of light spots are combining together to form a picture in front of our screen, right? So that is how the CRT works, right? And in your syllabus, there is they haven't said us to taught you this kind of technical things. I'm just showing this to you to have an idea. So all you have to remember is CRT is the first of their kind, and it used these electron guns and the electron beams to create a picture on the screen, right? And it is big in size. The power consumption of it is huge comparing to the other two devices, other two monitors, which is the LCD and LED, right? So that those are the things that you need to remember. So from the CRT, with the technological advancement, then they find the monitor which we call LCD, liquid crystal display, right? So liquid crystal display is using a technology where it takes the light and taking it through a liquid crystal structure. Like you can see on this picture, there is this liquid crystal structure at the middle of the monitor. So this picture explains the inner side, or like the internal structure of an LCD, right? Layers so there are so many layers. So the major component is this liquid crystal, which help the monitor to create very sharp images on it, right? So this white light will travel through a lot of layers, including liquid crystal layer, and will be converted into a picture with the help of these components. And again, you don't really need to bother about what is inside the LCD monitor, but remember, the major technology that they are using is the liquid crystal, right? So they use liquid crystal to change, or like to generate a fine picture in front of the screen, right? So the very same, or like the very similar type of mechanism is used by the newest advancement, which we call the light emitting diode, or the LED screens. So it used the same kind of layers, but the layer types are a little bit different, and you can see there is a liquid crystal layer as well, right? So it's like an advancement of an LCD. LCD එකේ ඉඳලා දියුණු වෙච්ච විදිහක් තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. But major technology that they are using is not the liquid crystal, but the light emitting diode, which stands for LED, right? So using the light emitting diodes, with the help of liquid crystal, they create the pictures on the screen where the user is going to experience those, right? So those are the three things: CRT, LCD, and LED, right? So when you are comparing these three, you have to remember power consumption get decreased over the technological advancement. That means CRT consuming more power, LCD is less than the CRT, and LED is less than the LCD. And when it comes to the size, CRT is the biggest, LCD is comparatively smaller, and LED is comparatively smaller. Like more often, LCD and LED goes together. We can find them on the same size. But CRT, it is big, right? Big means like it's bulky, right? Yeah, mahatai, right? And when it comes to the price, since the CRT is the oldest technology, now we can find the CRT for a cheaper price, right? But it's again give us a disadvantage because it consumes a lot of power. And when it comes to the LCD and LED is the expensive one, but comparatively it saves more electricity for us. And as well as LED, comparatively it is consuming less electricity, but when you are comparing to the LED, it consumes more. Hari. තේරුණාද මේ දේවල් ටික? The difference between the CRT, LCD, and LED. Yes, people, just confirm me through the chat. All right, great. All right, and in your book, they have described the same things, right? And they have given you some pictures as well. And when it comes to the LED, you can experience not only the monitors, but these hoardings and all these things, like the billboards and all these things. Nowadays, they are made out of LEDs, which is very electricity friendly kind of devices, right? So, and again, after the monitors, the other device that can project a soft copy is the multimedia projector. So for a projector, we need a specific place to project our multimedia projector. Otherwise, like we can't just direct the projector to this atmosphere and see the pictures. It is not giving you any picture if you project karate, you can't see, because you should have some kind of screen or a wall, right, with a white space, right? So, and again, when you are using a projector, the light intensity matters, right? So it is if with the less light, you will be see much clearer picture comparing to the more lights, right? So daylight එකේ අපි projector එකක් පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම්, that projector should have a very powerful bulb inside it, right? එයාගේ projecting bulb එක ගොඩක් powerful වෙන්න ඕනේ. Like we say, it should have a higher amount of lumens. Lumens කියලා කියන්නේ like power of the light, ආලෝක තීව්‍රතාවය minor ඒකකය lumens කියලා කියන්නේ. So you should use like more than 3,500 lumens to have a clearer picture on the daylight. And still ඒක මේ ගොඩාක් මහ දවල්, ඒ කියන්නේ ගොඩාක් bright light එකක අමාරුයි, but like inside a room with the windows are open, still we can see some picture with a higher or with a brighter projection light, right? But generally, when we are using a projector, we prefer a darker room, right? Or like the less light room, so we can see the things much clearly. when it is being projected into a projected screen or like onto a white wall, right? So those are the ways that we can have these soft copies of the computer. So we will be receiving, or like we will the outputs will come as an output, uh, as a soft copy from these particular devices, right? Okay, so let's note these things down, right? So output devices is the first heading for today, right? And it's better you copy this little paragraph first. Let me know when you are done, people. Right, if you are done with it, you can have the first subheading soft copy, right? Then yeah, you have to copy these things on this particular manner, right? And when it comes to the these three types, I'll tell you what to be written, right? First copy these two. Right, can we move? Right, so let's move forward. So monitor screen, like there are several types of monitors available today. So put capital A, cathode ray tube monitor, right? And yeah, put capital A, cathode ray tube monitor. Then under that, write this as 2 points. Large in size, it is a 1 point. Consumes more electricity, that's the second point. So that is under the cathode ray tube monitor, right? So you put A and cathode ray tube monitor. Then under that, the first point is large in size. And then the second point, consumes more electricity. Done. Cathode ray tubes monitor. So first point is large in size. Second point is consumes more electricity. All right, moving forward. Then the capital B, liquid crystal display. Put a dash and have LCD as well. And as the first point under it, the very first line, this is a flat screen type technology. This is a flat screen type technology. And then you have to say the second point, consume less electricity. There is a printing mistake on my soft copy, so don't bother about the LED, it should be LCD. And the second point should be consumes less electricity. So 2 points. This is a flat screen type technology. That will be the first point. And the second point is consume less electricity. Yes, people, are we done here? Okay, one is done. How about the others? Right, great. So moving forward, capital C, light emitting diode, LED. So the first point will be designed using light emitting diodes. That will be the first point. And that is the first point. So the second point is going to be low electricity consumption. So the first point, designed using light emitting diodes. So the second point is low electricity consumption. Right. So it seems, yes, people are done. So moving forward, now if I'm moving a little bit fast, just let me know, people, right? So then it is done with the monitors. The next point is about the multimedia projectors. So you put monitors like this. So in the very same way you put monitors, have it the multimedia projectors. This is the first point, used to get information output to a wide screen. That is the first point. So the subheading multimedia projectors. First point, used to get information output to a wide screen. And the second point should start from here. Yeah, from there to here. Right, are we done? Oh, yes. Some people are done. How about others? Right, great. So we can move. Okay, so next is about the hard copies. So now when it comes to the hard copies, I told you it's the printers that we gives us the hard copies, but I told you there are various type of printers. So these printers are being categorized into two different categories, which we call impact printers and non-impact printers, right? So when it comes to the impact printers, so we take it as dot matrix printers and line printers, and non-impact, laser, bubble jet, inkjet, thermal. Now, why it is been called impact and non-impact? What's the difference, right? So I'll show you. I think you have seen some impact printers, maybe in a supermarket, maybe in some on some places like Singer, Abans, and all these things, right? And in most of the shops, they use impact printers to print their bills or the invoices, right? Because it is cheaper, and uh, the it is the major fact. It is being cheaper, right? And when it comes to the maintenance and the durability, less maintenance and high durability is there, right? හදාගන්න repair කරන්න ඉන්න දේවල් අඩුයි, and we can use it for very long time, right? So the two types are called dot matrix printers and line printers. Now when it comes to these small organizations like these supermarkets and some groceries, and as well as some where we can easily find these things in the hospital bills as well, right? Hospital එකට ගිහලා අපි appointment එකක් ගන්නකොට ගොඩක් වෙලාට ඒගොල්ලෝ appointment එක print කරලා දෙන්නේ using a dot matrix printer, right? So you may have seen it at some point, right? So those are what we call dot matrix printers, one of the impact printers. And line printers, they specifically use use these things in the banks in olden days, right? Nowadays they are using much advanced technologies, but still when you are having like a lot of things or like a lot of data to be printed with a for a cheap price, we use a line printer. So it says it prints 3,000 lines per minute, right? So it's quite fast, right? And when it comes to the non-impact printers, yeah, I didn't told you why this is called impact printers. Now let me show it to you why it is called impact printers. Now this is a diagram that I used for the previous class, and I'll take the same thing for you to explain, right? So in the impact printers, now they have this ribbon sort of a thing in the printer, and the paper goes beneath it, right? And like there is a moving head, right? A moving head which moves from left to right, and as well as it has a small head, right, which moves from forward and backward. right? So what actually happens is when you need to print something, this head will move to the specific place and will effect an impact, right? So copy haraskadak karagatot, right? So this is going to be the paper and this is the ribbon. And this head, this is the head. Right? එතකොට මෙයා like මේ පැත්තටයි කියන්නේ වැදිලා එනවා. right? එතකොට වදින්නේ ribbon එක උඩ. ඒ ribbon එක carbonized ribbon එකක්. So when it is happens on that manner, a character is making on this particular manner. The first dot එක print කරනවා, then the paper moves, then 2 dots will get printed, paper moves, then another 2 dot will get printed, paper moves. So likewise, if you need to print the character A, it will print like this. Right, so it is the way. Then මේ එක dot එකක් එන්නේ, මේ head එක එක සැරයක් impact වුණා. So it happens in a very fast manner, and when it comes to the printout, it is not this visible. මේ මම ඇඳලා තියෙන තරමටම dots visible වෙන්නේ නැහැ, but ළඟටම අරගෙන බැලුවොත් you can see the dots. You can see how the character are being formed, right? So like since they are having this impact, may impact එකක් වෙලයි print එක හැදෙන නිසා තමයි these printers are called impact printers. නේද? එතකොට මෙයා අපි සිංහලෙන් කියනකොට සංඝට්ටණය වෙනවා කියලා, right? ගැටෙනවා කියලා, right? So it is called the impact printers. So the rest of the things or the other category is called the non-impact printers. Let me show you some pictures regarding the non-impact printers, right? So yeah, so this is one of the non-impact printers which we call inkjet. So inkjet printers, like there are 2 types of inkjet printers. One printer like this, the first picture is called the ink tank model. So like there is a separate ink tanks. So we can purchase the ink bottles from the market and we can fill those ink tanks. And those ink will be used to do the printout, right? And this particular component is called a cartridge. So cartridge is a component which has colors in it, or like where the ink has been poured into it, or like put into it already, right? එක sponge එකක වගේ ඒගොල්ලෝ හදලා තියෙන ඇතුලේ material එක තියෙන sponge material එකක් වගේ එකක්. ඒකට තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ මේ tint එක පොඟවලා තියෙන්නේ, right? So using this, it have to be fixed into the printer and it will use to generate an inkjet or a bubble jet printout. Now if you think about the quality of these things, comparing to the laser printout, the quality is low, but it is not that low for us to use. Again, අපිට දැනෙන තරම් වෙනසක් නැහැ, but comparatively අපි ගත්තම it's a low quality. And again, when it comes to the durability, these printouts are less durable, right? Like if you got a water drop on this kind of printout, it will get blotted very easily. But when you think about the laser printout, it won't happen very easily, right? Water drop එකක් වටනොත් එයාව ටක් දාලා පිහිටුවොත් we can still save the document without any blottings, right? And when it comes to the cost, the initial cost, that means the purchasing cost of this kind of a printer which uses the cartridge, is very less. It's like you can purchase a printer for like 7,000 and 8,000, right? But the disadvantage is running cost is high. Now, running cost means this cartridge has a limit of making the printouts. මෙයාට පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ printouts උපරිමයේ 60ක් 70ක් විතර වගේ generate කරන්න. Right? When it happens on that manner, you have to either refill this particular cartridge or you have to purchase a new one. So cartridges are by default, it is harder to refill. There are ways of refilling, but it's hard to refill. And even though you got to refill that particular cartridge, like the durability of the cartridge will get in decrease, right? Api refill කරන්න ටික යා පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් කාලේ අඩු වෙනවා. Like for like maximum you could do the refillings for like maximum up to 10 times, right? Then after you have to purchase a new one. So when you are going to purchase a new cartridge, it costs you like half of your printer. Printer එක 8000ක් නම් ගත්තේ cartridge එක 3000ක් 4000ක් විතර වගේ වෙනවා. So it is good to, it's good for a home usage. අපි ඉඳලා හිටලා නම් printouts දාන්නේ, right? It's very randomly that we are taking it, so it is good. But if you are doing it regularly, this is going to be a very costly option for you. But this ink tank solution will be a very cost effective or like the very cheaper way of printing the getting the printouts, right? Because this ink bottle will cost you around 2,000. So if you are purchasing all four, it will cost you 8,000. So from that 8,000, you will be given the chance to take 4,000 printouts, right? So it is like almost like less than 2 rupees per printout, right? But when it comes to these cartridge types, it will cost you like 10 to 15 rupees per printout, right? Sometimes larger than that, like cartridges දෙකම ගන්න ඔයගලන්ට රුපියල් 6000ක් විතර යනවා. So from that you can maximum you can take 100 printouts. So that like 60 rupees per page, right? Which is comparatively very high to the ink tank solutions, right? So nowadays the popular option is this, but again it matters with the durability and the quality. So if you are really worrying about the quality, or like if you need the high quality printouts, you have to go with a laser jet or a laser printer. So a laser printer, they use the technology in a different manner. So they use a laser light which is going to focus into a component called drum, right? So they use a mirror එකක් වට අපි මූණ බලනම කණ්ණාඩියක් නෙවෙයි, it's kind of a crystal to deviate this laser beam like evenly on the drum. Then laser printer එකක් ඇතුලේ components දෙකක් තියෙනවා. One is called drum, other one is called the toner, right? So these are the toners that you can see outside, right? So this toner has this kind of roller. Each and every toner has this kind of roller. Now this roller helps to take the toner dust. Toner dust එකක් කුඩු එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ toner එක ඇතුලේ. ඒ ඇතුලේ තියෙන dust එක මේ roller එක කැරකෙනකොට roller එකට ඇලෙනවා, right? So then roller will help the dust to get onto the drum. So drum will be given the details or the patterns that needed to be printed out on the paper, right? කොලේ print කරන්න ඕන pattern එක drum එකට තමයි inform වෙන්නේ. So a pattern එකට අනුව drum is having the heat with the help of the laser beam. So that toner dust will only stick onto the particular places on the drum. A pattern එකට ගැලපෙන විදිහට තමයි අර toner dust එක drum එකේ ඇලවෙන්නේ. So then drum is also rotating. So drum will put the particular toner dust on the paper, so we can see the print out is generated, right? So it's a complex thing which is happening, and you don't have to describe it. Syllabus describe I'm just saying this. So that is the way of a laser printer works, right? And again, when it comes to the toners, it's little bit costly, right? The cheapest option is ink tank solution. So, but if you are bothering about, like, if you really need the quality on your printouts, that means you have to go for something like laser, right? And there is another one called graphic plotter. Now, this is used to print out the massive size of printouts, right? Then local hoardings, they are printed out with the help of these kind of printer, right? So plotter will help you to print in big sizes, right? So like if you want to take a printout of a particular blueprint of a particular building plan printout, it comes in a like considerably big sheet, right? So we need a plotter to plot the things, or like to print the things on it, right? So this is called the graphic plotter. And if you look into your books, it has introduced you the same things that we talk, and thermal printer is something new. Now, thermal printers, you can easily find the thermal printers nowadays in the ATM machines, right? In most of the ATM machines are now printing out a thermal printout, right? So it's not like the dot matrix, right? And there is a limit to do the thermal printing. අපිට ඕන තරම් ලොකු පින්තූර thermal printing ගන්න බෑ, right? And you can find the thermal printers, like I said, with the ATM machines and with some institutions, and as well as like we can find it on the conductor's hand as well. Tickets then the machine, you can see the thermal printer. And again, if you are visiting to these supermarkets like Kiehl's or Food City or Apico or something, in the balance, balance output එකක් එනවා නේද? දැන් bill එකක් අරගෙන ඒගොල්ලෝ දැන් හාල් නම් කිරන්නේ, they just wait and push some buttons and take a sticker with some printed characters on it. So it happens, or like it is done, that sticker is printed out using a thermal printer, right? So thermal printer is small in size, and there are specific sizes when you are taking the outputs out of it. Not like every document format can be printed out through the thermal printer, and there are specific sizes. පොඩි ප්‍රමාණය වලින් තමයි කියන්නේ print out අරගන්න reel එක පොඩි reel එකක් තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ, but it uses in many different places, right? So we can like they said, we can see it in the ATMs and printing labels we can use for that. Okay, and yeah, so regarding the printers, this is what I need you to do. Now, you can read through the things on the textbook. I'm not going to copy each and every points in the paragraph, right? So instead of that, it's better you write down, or like it's better you draw this particular structure, right? The hierarchy. මේක තිබුණම ඔයගලන්ට idea එකක් එනවා, what are the printers, what are the two types, and what are the examples. So if you need more details, remember you have to refer the textbook. I'm not going to write all the paragraph on your book, so it is no point of having those things. So we just have this structure so we can remember how the printers are, right? Okay, start it. Do as quickly as you can, right? Chamath, we are just drawing this sketch, Chamath. It's the hierarchy that we are drawing, like printers divided into impact and non-impact printers. So under that, we are going to write the examples. Right, one is done. How about others? Right, great. Right, so we are moving to the sounds. You know better than me about the sounds, right? So when it comes to the sounds, like just before that, hold on, I just need to go through anything new. I have to write in here, just hold on. Yeah, people, it's better you write the things regarding the impact printers. It's just this thing, right? We are not going to talk about the examples, right? Put the subheading impact printers. Yeah, from these particular things. So starting from here, copy up to this point. All right. Okay, one is done. How about others? Right, Vinith, you got time, Buddha. So copy it down. Okay. How about you, Vinith? Are you done? No, no, no. You don't need to. You don't need to. Pranuja, you don't need to. Right. So because we have written the things in this sketch, in this diagram, dot matrix and line printer, so we don't need to go through the examples, right? And regarding non-impact printers, yeah, yeah. Regarding non-impact printers, just mention these two. Right. Are we done? Right. Okay, so the very last thing that we need to write is at the very bottom, that is regarding the sound. So I really don't need to say how sound is generated, or like how the sound output is there in the computer, right? So how we are going to have the sound? It's through the buffers, the headsets, the headphones, right? So what you can see is the headphone. You know what is a headset is, right? And Bluetooth speakers, Bluetooth headset. You can have many, right? So regarding the sounds, just write this particular thing. All right. Yeah, I know people. It's quite right in like the last session as well as this session. So the second lesson goes like that. So I know it is a bit boring, but can't help people. So we have to pass the boring stuff. Right. Like from this lesson onwards, you won't find anything uh, like to write a lot of things, right? All you have to do is to do some sums and do some diagramming part and do some practicals, right? Okay, so one is done. How about others? All right. So the next part. So after we discuss this thing, we can end the session for today. So here we are talking about the central processing unit. People, this is not something new to you. Like the central processing unit is the brain of the computer. It is the chip that thinks, or like not actually the thinking, which execute the things, right? So we discuss about this when we talking about the von Neumann architecture. Do you remember the architecture, like this particular diagram? We talk about it, neither. Like I told you, right? So this particular diagram shows us how the components are work in the computer. So like we have input devices. When we enter the data from input devices, it goes to the main memory, and main memory send the instruction one by one to the central processing unit. So inside the central processing unit, there is a registers. There are registers who catch the instruction, which is sent by the main memory. And that instruction will be given to the ALU, the arithmetic and logic unit, and it will execute that particular instruction in a mathematical manner or in a logical manner, right? And yeah, Sandun, I will answer your question, Sandun. Right. Yeah, Sadesh, I'll show you how to get the recordings put as well, right? Just you just finish this up and go, right? And once you have this instructions in the registers, so these registers will send that instruction to the ALU, and then ALU will execute that, right? So it can execute in two different ways. One is from the one way is the arithmetical manner, or the other way is the logical manner. So it depends on the instruction that it received. එයාට හම්බෙන instruction එක මත තමයි ඒක තීරණය වෙන්නේ. Logical එකක් නම් logical විදිහට execute කරනවා, arithmetical එකක් නම් arithmetical විදිහට execute කරනවා, right? So then after the result, Sandhun, it ends at 8, right? So the result will send back to the registers, and the registers will send back the results to the main memory. So if we save it, we can save it in the secondary memory, and as well as we can see the output using the output devices, right? So in this diagram we talk about this, and now we are going to write about this central processing unit. So in here, under the central processing unit heading, you have the same thing that they have described about these three components, which we call the arithmetic and logic unit, control unit, and the memory registers. So control unit is there to send the control signals to all the Sandhun, I'm sorry, I just mix it up, right? Sandhun, it ends at 8 o'clock, right? So the control unit is there to like send the control signals to the all other components in the computer system, where they get the signal to act, right? So let's write about these things so we can end the session from this particular point. Then we can start from the computer memory by the next day, right? So yeah, so have the heading central processing unit, right? And it's better you write the very first line regarding it. This is the main component of the computer system. This is the main component of a computer system. That will be the first point. And the second point, it functions according to the given commands. Sandhun, I'll answer you once we done the class, right? Right, so the third point is this. CPU consists of three main components. The functions of those are as follows. Then you have to write down this particular table. Right, so once you are done with that table, we can end the session. Sadun, just a second. Once everyone is done with this, we'll talk about it. I'll be here. I'll be here. Don't worry. All right. So yeah. Yes. Someone asked. Yeah. How did I learn to speak English? Yeah. It's like this. People. My English is not perfect still for the moment, but I can manage that. I can communicate it to a person. It doesn't happen. It did not happen overnight. Cracking which right? So I just try to talk. That's all what I was doing, right? So like yes, ඒක කියන්නේ ඕගලන්ට ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකෙන් තමයි පුතේ ඔක එන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ පුළුවන් විදිහට කියලා කියන්නේ වැරදියට නෙවෙයි. පුළුවන් හැම වෙලාවකම බලන්න කමියුනිකේට් කරන්න ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකක් ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට අපි ඒක පාවිච්චි කරන එක තමයි අපිට තියෙන එකම ඔප්ෂන් එක. right? මම ඉස්කෝලේ යන කාලේ මම ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් වලින් නෙවෙයි ඉගෙන ගත්තේ. A level කරනකම් සිංහල මීඩියම්, right? පස්සේ මම ඩිග්‍රී එක මගේ කරනකොට කම්පියුටර් ඩිග්‍රී එක කරනකොට මට ඒ අවුරුදු 4ම ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න උනේ. ඉතින් මට පොඩි නොලෙජ් එකක් තිබුණා ඉංග්‍රීසි ගැන. ඉස්කෝලෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්ත පොඩි ක්ලාසස් වගේ එකට ගිහිල්ලා ඉගෙන ගත්ත. ඒක ඉංග්‍රීසි අපි විෂයක් විදිහට ඉගෙන ගන්න එක නෙවෙයි මේ ස්පෝකන් ඉංග්ලිෂ් වල තියෙන්නේ. ස්පෝකන් ඉංග්ලිෂ් හැදෙන්න නම් අපි කතා කරන්න ඕනේ. right? එතකොට මම හුරු වෙච්ච ක්‍රම කීපයක් තියෙනවා. එකක් මම කතා කරනවා. ඊළඟට මගේ ඩිග්‍රී එකේදී මට ගොඩක් ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන්ස් කරන්න හම්බුණා. ඒතකොට ඒක මට ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් තමයි ප්‍රසන්ට් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මම ප්‍රැක්ටිස් වෙනවා ඒක ප්‍රසන්ට් කරන විදිහ. right? ඒ වගේම මම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඉංග්‍රීසි මූවීස් බලනවා. ඒක ඕගලන්ට මේ වෙලාවේ කරන්න බෑ. මම ඉංග්‍රීසි මූවීස් බලනකොට සබ්ටයිටල්ස් නැතුව පුළුවන් තරම් ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන එක තේරුම් ගන්න try කරනවා. right? So then I'm very much concentrate into it. right? ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන එක ඒගොල්ලෝ කතා කරන විදිහ, right? ඒක ටිකක් දවසක් ඒකෙම කරනකොට ඒක ඔයාට හුරුව එනවා ටික ටික. right? ඒක නිසා ඒක හිමින් හුරු වෙන්න ඕන දෙයක්. එකපාරට අපිට බෑ ඒක හුරු කරගන්න. right? ඒක හරියට දැන් අපිට සිංහල නිකම්ම හුරු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. අපි පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳලා සිංහල අහනවා, හැමෝම සිංහලෙන් කතා කරන්නේ. ඉතින් අපිට අපේ දිව හුරු වෙනවා. ඒක අපි එකට මදර් ටං එක කියලා කියන්නේ. right? අපි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්ම මුලින් ඉඳලා ඇහුවා නම් මුලින් ඉඳලා කතා බහ කරා නම් අපිට මදර් ටං එක වෙන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි. ඒතකොට අපි සිංහල කතා කරන එක අපිට අමුතුයි. right? ඒක නිසා දැන් ඉංග්ලිෂ් බැරියර් එකක් කරගන්න එපා. ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකක් කවදාවත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න දෙයකට බැරියර් එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. right? So you just get used to it. right? ඒක පුළුවන් වෙලාවට කතා කරන්න නේද? කමියුනිකේට් කරන්න බලන්න. right? අහන්න, කියවන්න. right? කියවන එකෙන් ගොඩක් දේවල් ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඔය කතා පොත් වගේ දේවල්. right? කියවන්න. එතකොට ඕක කැච් අප් කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඔයගලන්ට no problem. තව කෙනෙක් අහලා තිබ්බා මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින්ද සිංහල වලින්ද කරන්න හොඳ කියලා. මේක ලියාගෙන ඉවර නම් ලීව් වුණාට කමක් නැහැ කට්ටිය. මම මේ කට්ටිය අහපු ප්‍රශ්න වලට උත්තර දෙන ගමන් ඉන්නේ. තව කෙනෙක් අහලා තිබ්බා ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින්ද සිංහල වලින්ද මේක කරන්න හොඳ කියලා. So it's like this. ඒක ඔයාට ලේසි ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකෙන් කරන්න. කවදාවත් ටෙක්නොලොජි ඉගෙන ගන්න